evening, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. I had to have my headphones on because that's the only way I can hear the music, and that music just gets me fired up for some card making. Oh, I love that. That's a big shout out to Brian for putting that whole intro, everything together for us. I just love that. That always makes me feel so good. I hope you guys are doing good tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun because we're going to dig into the brand new card kit tonight. And we're going to be making a floral card using some of the coloring stencils and the beautiful stamps from that new kit. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Hey. There you
Whoops.
are. Okay.
I'll get it.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah, back. Hey, hi everybody. It's the Crafter Dinner crowd. And it's cold.
Oh, it is cold.
Whoa.
It's freezing.
You gotta have like triple
I have my Under Armour on under here.
walled pants weather here in Wisconsin. Hey, and a big shout out and thank you once again to all the well-wishers over the holidays gift givers. We received some really wonderful things from so many of you. Thank you so much. It was a great holiday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. It really was. And yeah, we appreciate you guys so much. We love our community here on YouTube and on Facebook, because I know a lot of you are watching on Facebook and on Twitch.
As crazy as it gets sometimes, right?
Yeah, right. But that's what happens.
Yeah.
Gets big, get a lot of people in there, and
Yeah.
We get crazy sometimes, but you know what? It always comes back around, and there's always so much inspiration, so it's worth it, right?
It is fun to watch, fun to be a part of. And what do you got going today?
Well, I'm going to be using the brand new kit. I found my grit mat, by the way.
Okay.
Got my grit mat. I'm going to be using the Spring Clusters Stamp and Die bundle, and we'll see what else is going to happen along the way. So.
All right, let her rip.
All right. Well, so we're going to be using this Stamp and Die bundle here. This is called Spring Clusters. And I'm going to be making a card that I showed at the release party, but I'm going to be doing it a little different tonight. And then I'll show you the one that I actually made at the release party. But I'm going to be using this image here. And then I'm going to be making this a Thinking of You card because I think, you can use a Thinking of You card for just about anything. I got my grit mat stuck to my my stamp pocket. You can use a Thinking of You card for anything. It could be thinking of you on your birthday or thinking of you, during this difficult time, or just thinking of you because I'm thinking of you. So that's the kind of card I'm going to make tonight. So to get started, I am going to be using the grit mat. And this is, if you haven't seen this is our new grit mat. And it's also a double background stamp. So it's got two background stamps. And this is not going to be the last one that we do. We're going to be doing many more versions of this. And what's really fun about this is, although you can do all of your stenciling and MISTI stamping on this, you can also flip it over and have two background stamps. So in my opinion, if you're looking for a grit mat, why not get one that does triple duty, right? Grit mat, beautiful basket style background stamp, and this other beautiful ornate background stamp. So we're going to pop this into the MISTI. And somebody was asking why this has a little notch here. And you can use that to pull it out of the MISTI if you want, but really, because it's just a big background stamp, when they make the base up, they just go around the design. So that's why it has a little notch. Doesn't affect you at all. When you're making cards even as big as a 5x7, you've got plenty of surface space here. You can also use this as a gel plate if you want. So there are gel plate techniques out there that you can try with this, because it has kind of a, that jelly kind of thing where you can, put paint on it and stuff. But, you might want to have one specifically set aside for your paint because they do get messy. And maybe use one for your inking techniques and one for, we're going to have more. So as we continue to release these double backgrounds with the grip mat on the back, you'll have lots of options. All right, so the way this works is you no longer need the cushion for your MISTI, and you also don't need the magnet for your MISTI, because this does it all. So I'm going to just pop this piece of cardstock in here like that, and that is going to stick no matter what. It's not going to pull up at all, which I love. And then we're going to use this stamp right here. Let's see. We're just going to pop that there because we're going to do 2 of these. So I am going to, oh, my nails. Thank you so much. Yeah, these are the Impress nails. I have these linked on my, on the blog page on the website. And this color is called Fly Up. And I didn't know if I was going to like it at first, but it actually kind of pulls in the pinks and the blues from my sweater. So kind of like it. I put them on today just before I went live tonight. So they're super easy. And my ring, I have found somebody to do my ring. So thank you all very, very much. It's a local gal, recommended actually by one of our friends that works here for us at Gina K Designs. So it's a good connection for us. She's a goldsmith, and she's going to be fixing my ring. But this ring is my mother's wedding ring. So I decided to wear my mother's wedding ring while I'm getting it fixed. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this with some soft stone. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because one of the things that I've noticed is I love black ink. I've always loved black ink, and I love that black rim around the perimeter of the card. But for some reason, I've been really getting into gray ink for line art stamps. So I'm going to do a little bit of double stamping on this. And I just reminded myself that I want to do this a little bit differently. So I'm going to put this right up here at the very top of the MISTI. So this is up here in this corner because I want to do some double stamping. So you do want to make sure, even with the grip mat, that you get it right up here into the top corner. So make sure that it's, tight in there so that when you stamp it later, you're going to be able to re-stamp it. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this one first, and I'm going to use this light gray ink. So this is soft stone. And soft stone is a really pretty color for like background techniques, and it's great for no line coloring. Just our Whisper is in even lighter gray. That's our amalgam ink. You can use that as well. But my old eyes need a little bit more. I need to see it just a little bit better. So I'm going to use the soft stone here. I can see that pretty well. Can you see that? When I tilt it away from the light, you're able to see it a lot better. And if you're doing this in person, you'll definitely be able to see that very well. Our lights are a little bright. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it over, put it right in that same spot up at the top, and I'm going to stamp it a second time. And a big shout out to Brianne Loveland, our rock star moderator and linker extraordinaire. She is helping all the time with our lives, and we really appreciate you, Brianne. Thank you for being such a rock star. So if you're looking for something and you can't find it, just give Brianne a shout and she will help you with that for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this stamp right up here in the corner. I'm not going to touch it, but I am going to clean it just because I want to get the gray ink off of there. And I just don't want that ink to dry on there because I'm going to be inking up again. Okay, so now I can move this off of the corner, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just move it down here onto the grip mat, and I'm going to get the layering stencils. Now, this stamp set, this die set, and these coloring stencils all come in the kit. Plus, you get other stencils, and you get a full die set, and then you get another stamp set and another die set. Let me just show you what's in the kit. It's pretty spectacular, this kit. All of these different items, 2 stamp sets, coloring stencils, 2 big die sets, a layering stencil, a full die set, and you get our free scissors. And these scissors are awesome. As far as scissors go, these are, they're like a non-stick scissor, and they cut beautifully. So if you're looking for good scissors for cutting paper, for fussy cutting, for working with ribbon, anything like that, these are great scissors. And they come free. That's a free gift that you get with this kit. Okay, so now I'm going to start with, this is layer, let's see, this is Spring Clusters 1. So this is the first stencil in the set. And each of these stencils coordinates with one of the spring clusters. So you can see that layer 1 coordinates with this cluster. Layer 2, I gotta find it here. Layer 2 coordinates with this bottom one here. And then layer 3 coordinates with this middle one here. So we're really only going to be needing this layer 1. So I was trying to think about what colors I wanted to do for this. And we could take this whole thing right out of here. And I think that would be a little bit easier. As long as we don't move the stamp, we're good. So we're leaving the stamp right where it is. This grit mat will stick to your table too. So this way we can put it right in the center of the grit mat. And when we line this up, the stencil itself will stick to the grit mat and everything will stay in place. There we go. And if you're worried about it flapping up over here, you can always take a little bit of tape, just because I didn't have it, you know, going over the edge here. So if that worries you, you can always add a little bit of tape right to the side there. It won't hurt anything. So I definitely wanted to use our new colors. So I was thinking for my card tonight, I would use our new Sun-Kissed Coral and our new Butterscotch. For my sample card that I showed at the release party, I used our new Blue Sky and Emerald Coast. But I'm going to show you that card at the end. So, but it's good to kind of, you know, see a little bit of everything with these new colors. So I'm going to get my ink stand, my fantastic ink stand that I can't live without, for my ink. And let me see, do I have a brush already started for this color? Yes, I do. So let me grab that. Okay, so I've got a brush started for this. I think it touched something else, but I'm not worried about it. And I'm going to start with the Butterscotch. So I'm going to do Butterscotch on the 2 flowers on the sides here. And the reason why I didn't just make this all one coloring stencil is because if you wanted to make this one pink and this one purple and then come in the middle here and make this one blue, by separating them out, it makes it a lot easier for you to do that. So let's start here in the middle. We'll get some Butterscotch on here. So pretty. And then I'm going to do a little Butterscotch over here. Butterscotch is a really warm golden yellow. It's different than honey mustard. Honey mustard has a lot of brown in it, so it's truly the color of honey mustard. And wild dandelion is a much more true primary yellow. This is much more buttery. It goes really nicely with sweet corn, although sweet corn is several shades lighter, so it's a great layering color for sweet corn. All right, so now I'm going to add a little bit of Sun-Kissed Coral in here. All right, so let's get a tiny brush. I think this brush might work. I don't know what's on here, but let me just see if I have a little scrap piece of paper. Let's see what's on there. Not much, so I think this will work just fine. This is one of our detail brushes, and I'm just going to add a little bit of the Sun-Kissed Coral into the center here, just to pink it up a little bit. These are great colors together. They blend really nicely. Should I be zoomed in a little bit more? Oh yeah, it is nice. My mother's wedding ring. Somebody just said it's a really nice way to remember your mother. It truly is. And I think when I do get my regular ring fixed, I think I'll just wear that on this finger over here. All right, so I'm going to pull this up. There we go. Let's see. I think I might have had that just a hair crooked, but it's easy to fix because if you need to add a little bit more, you can just move it and we'll add just a little bit more butterscotch off of that butterscotch brush. No big deal. My old eyes aren't as good as they used to be. Okay, that looks better. Okay, so now I'm going to move to this one here. This big flower. There we go. Okay. And then this one, I think I'm going to use just the sun-kissed coral. So we'll get a little bit of just straight ahead coral in here. This is a really pretty color too. It's really pretty. We can accent this one with another color. Let me see what I have that I think might go really nicely with it is maybe a little bit of faded brick. So I will just add a tiny bit of faded brick in there. Definitely a warm toned card tonight. I don't know what's on here. That might be a little faded brick. And we'll just add a little bit of that in the center just to darken it up. Okay. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to just turn it a little bit here just to make sure I get all of that in there. You can see where I couldn't see. But that's fine. That's the nice thing about the stencil. You just pop it right back on there. Okay, so now I've got my three flowers there. I'm just gonna, well, I guess I could have just turned the paper around. I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm going to try to actually, while I have this one open, I'll just do this flower. Okay, there we go. I think I did better that time. And we'll do the sun-kissed coral first. See, you put nails on and then you don't know how to use them. That's me. Struggling. And remember, the Gina K Designs ink colors are a dye ink. They have a smoothing agent in them. And once they dry up a little bit. So they're a little bit lighter once they completely dry. And then I'm going to use that faded brick again in the center here. And if I have to go back, I'll add a little bit more. I like that color combination. That looks better. I'm seeing better. Okay, now we're going to go back and do those two individual flowers here. And we'll add that butterscotch. I've always wanted this color yellow in our collection. And we have quite a few yellows. We have prickly pear and honey mustard, lemon drop, wild dandelion, and sweet corn. And you'd think, oh, we've got everything that we need. But really, this color was missing, and I just love having it in our collection. I've seen some really pretty cards starting to get into the group too, because as you guys know, we got hit really hard with orders. And so, you know, it takes about 14 to 17 business days for all of the orders to get out. So if you are waiting, that is something to be aware of. But, you know, from our early shoppers that shopped right at 7 p.m., some of those orders have already gotten there, and some people are already sharing cards over in our Facebook group, and it's really cool to see what you guys are coming up with. So I really love that combination of the butterscotch and the sun-kissed coral. So let's just see if I want to move that stencil a little bit. I think I will. Add just a tiny bit more. Right there. Just a little bit in there. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to move into some of our greens. And again, everything is on this one stencil for this particular design. So I'm going to line that up. And I think in my original card I used emerald for the greens, the new Emerald Coast. I think for this one I'm going to go more subtle. So I'm going to use medium spruce and let's see if I can find light spruce. Here it is. Light spruce. So we'll see if there's room for medium spruce, but we'll start with light spruce. So let me find a light spruce brush. Something that I can use with light spruce. That'll do it. Okay. So I'm going to start right down here and work my way up. Now it kind of looks like a hot mess because you can't really see the lines very well. So it does kind of look like a hot mess, but then we're going to restamp this with a darker ink. Now this is even good if you want to use a jet black, like our black Onyx, a real dark black ink. It'll work great because the yellows, you don't have to worry about the yellows bleeding at all because they, you know, there's no black lines for it to bleed. However, let me see if I can find, is this a spruce brush? Yes. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of this medium spruce using the detail brush. Just kind of like right in here, just to darken that up a little bit. Maybe right down here. A little bit in there, just at the bottoms of those leaves to give it a little bit of shading. There's not much I can do here, but I could add a little. But when you add that depth right there at the bottom, it's really pretty. Okay, let's take this off. And then we're going to flip this, and we're going to do the same thing. This is totally a me issue here of not being able to line it up. I think it's because the way the light comes in on my desk, I get a lot of light coming in this way. And so it blinds me a little bit to where I'm seeing the edge, if that makes sense. Kind of blows out the white a little bit. So I may have over stenciled a little there, but that's okay. All right. Now we'll do this here. No matter what, it's going to be better than horrible. And that is the standard. Okay, so now I'm going to go back with the light spruce. And welcome everybody. It is great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Getting lots of shout outs from different parts of the country and the world. It's great to see you. Yes, it is cold here in Wisconsin, just like it is everywhere. Actually, we have some friends in Florida, and they told us it was freezing down there, too. I saw my one friend, Barbara, she's celebrating her anniversary, and she was in St. Augustine, Tom, and it was 55 degrees.
That sounds delightful.
I know it sounds delightful here because it was 8 degrees here today. All right, and then a little bit of that medium spruce just down here at the bottom. Okay. I think I'm going to just leave this one the way it is. Maybe I'll fix that. But see, I tried to fix it on the other one, and I went a little outside the lines. So it's like the same spot on every one where I'm missing. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so there are 3 dots here, and these are the 3 centers of the flowers. So we could do whatever we want with these. We could just darken them up a little bit with maybe a brown. I think that might be good. Or we could even use like a gray, just to add a gray film over it. I think we'll try the brown, but we'll use a gray brown. So we're going to use the charcoal brown because that's a very gray brown, just to add a little touch of color there. Do I have a brown blending brush? I think I do. This will work. And we'll just add that right in the center there. And I'm going with kind of a light hand, so it's not like totally dark, dark, dark. Okay, I like it. And then it's hard for me to see the centers here at all. Let me clean this stencil off. So I have some rubbing alcohol that I'm going to clean this stencil off with. I like using rubbing alcohol with stencils because it cleans them and it kind of evaporates quickly. You don't have to worry about water damaging your project, but you should wipe on both sides because you can see the water like seeping through there. It's not water, but it's alcohol, moisture. And then we'll just make sure we got all of that. Okay, now I'm going to be able to see the centers better, I think. There we go. That looks good. Okay. And we'll do the same thing again. Just a little light hand with the charcoal brown. All right. Looks good. These would be really pretty fall colors too. It almost looks a little colored pencil-like, doesn't it? When you don't have those strong outlines. All right, so let's clean this one last time, and then we can put that away. And now we can put this back into the MISTI. I'm going to put it all back into the MISTI, but I'm going to actually give it a second to before I stamp it, just for that ink to dry a little bit. So I'm going to put this mat back in here.
Question time.
Yes.
Carrie wants to know, what is the difference between your detail brushes and your mini brushes?
It's just really, well, first of all, the shape. The detail brushes are more like a pencil. So when you're doing something really tiny like this, you can stay right in the center of that stencil, and you don't have to worry about the bristles kind of, you know, fanning over another part of the stencil, like maybe this one, or especially one of these big ones, right? If you were trying to get that right in there, some of those bristles might get into other areas. And it's also the shape of the head. These are round and very short bristled, very short, really short. So you get more concentrated ink when something is this short than if it was a longer kind of flat brush. This is more concentrated. And then this one is shaped more like our big ones, so you get kind of a wider area that you can use, but not as wide as the big ones. So it's really about it's about ink control, how much ink and where you want it to go. So we're going to put this back up in here. And then I was thinking, instead of using the black onyx, because it's so black, I thought we could use slate. You see how slate is like, it's close to black, but it's just softer. And kind of like eyeliner for my eyeliner girlies out there. You know, when you use black eyeliner, it's really kind of, I don't want to say harsh because it looks really good, and harsh sounds like it doesn't look good, but it's strong. And then if you switch to a really dark gray, it kind of softens up the look. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to soften up the look of the lines. So let's give this a try and we'll see how it looks. If it doesn't look good, we can always go back over it again. Now, I'm pretty sure I have it in the right spot because I checked that, but I'm going to check it again just to make sure. So I want to make sure that it's right up there in that top corner. Okay, we didn't move the stamp off of here, which is under my head there, but we didn't move the stamp off of here, so I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with some slate. And we're going to give that a gentle press. Now, if we have to go back over it a second time, we certainly can. But look how pretty that looks. And I feel like it's less harsh. Let me show you a card that I made. Let me grab it here. I'll show you a card that I made with black. Can you see how, I don't know, this just looks softer to me. It's got a little bit of a softer appeal to it. You could also use a dark brown and it would be beautiful, for sure. But like here, this is very, very black. And I feel like this just takes it down a notch. It's almost like if you had black and then you just put a soft, very, very super thin piece of vellum over it or something. So I love that. And then you don't have to worry about any, you know, bleeding of those yellows or anything because all the ink blending is done. So it's in the past. We don't have to worry about it. We can just let this dry. Okay, so we're going to do that again. You see I flipped it over and I popped it into that same top corner. And this is kind of a really fun way too to, like let's say you wanted to do some embossing. Maybe you want to do all your coloring first and then you want to go over it with embossing powder like gold or silver. So there, look how that brightens everything up. So this color is called Slate. This is my original one that I got from the manufacturer when they were testing the color. And I have never re-inked it, and I do use it, but I think it's a really nice addition to your the stamp colors that you use for your line art images. Other nice colors to use for line art images are navy. So if you were doing a lot of blues and greens, you could go with navy. We could have also used that charcoal brown, or we could have used chocolate brown. We could use dark sage. Those are all really, really dark colors. Can I see the nameplate for... Okay. I can see this as an... Yes, wouldn't that be cute? As a nameplate for a girl's room? Absolutely. Yeah, that would be really cute. Okay, so now we're going to stamp a greeting. And I think I'm going to do this greeting in the same color. I'm going to use the slate instead of black for this greeting. So here's a piece of white cardstock. We can put this away.
What size are those that you're using, the papers?
The paper, these are just quarter sheets. So they're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Just quarter sheets of cardstock. Okay, I'm going to put my stencils away. I keep everything in one pocket. My coloring stencils, my magnet with all of my dies, and my stamp set all together so it's easy to find. Makes it very easy. And with our new magnets, because they're not as thick, I love how it doesn't like, it doesn't make the pocket too thick. It's still super thin, and it allows, I don't know, you don't get tears on the edges or anything like that. Okay, thinking of you, and then we're going to do and sending love. There we go. And sending love. I might do these two separately. I know that seems weird, but honestly, sometimes the less you have to ink, the more it nails it the first time, you know? So I'm going to pick those up. And, oh, it's so nice that this isn't moving.
Ruth wants to know, what is the advantage? Is there an advantage of stamping the darker outline after coloring the flowers?
Yes, well, I was talking about that earlier. If you didn't get a chance, you might want to rewind and or rewatch the beginning. The idea of stamping afterwards is, number one, you don't ever have to worry about ink bleeding. So when you get the black line or even a gray line and you start inking over it with yellow, remember, we're stamping with water-based ink, and we're ink blending with water-based ink, so water can react to water. Now, normally it's not a big deal, but with colors like yellow, sometimes you'll see it. So this enables you to do all your ink blending first and then stamp your color on top. And also, you know, I kind of feel like it's just crisper. It just has a crisper look when you do it afterwards. Okay, so we're gonna stamp this with Slate. Now, I don't know if I'm going to like the slate as the actual color here for the words. We'll see. I might have to stamp them more than once. I like it. It's soft. So, you know, years ago, there were inks that, you know, we would use these inks and we would say, oh, it's not black enough, it's not black enough. In this case, I'm looking for that thing that's a little bit softer. And remember, just like all of our other inks, Slate is going to dry up a little bit to a lighter color. So there we go. It's just a little bit different than that stark black. Now, don't get me wrong. You know I love the black. But this is just, for these kinds of cards with these soft floral images and kind of that springy feel, it's kind of nice to have. It's, maybe Slate should have been called light black, because that's kind of what it is.
Carrie wants to know, are those your large storage pockets that you use for the dies and stamps?
Yes, these are the large storage pockets. We have large, medium, and small. So the medium are really good for when you have a mini stamp set and a die set, because the magnet will fit in there. So the medium works really well. You can see it's still very thin with everything in there. I'll grab one of those to show you. So here is my medium pocket. So I've got, I put it together wrong, but here we go. So I've got my Friendly Wishes mini stamp set in here on one side, and then I've got this die set that comes with this magnet on the other side. So that's the medium pocket. We also have small pockets that fit just the mini stamp sets. So if you don't have a die set for it and you want to have a smaller pocket, you can. And then we also have stencil pockets. Now, a lot of our pockets are out of stock and they are being manufactured, but it is taking a little while. So sorry about that. A lot of them sold out during our Black Friday sale, and we had a ton in stock, so I wasn't very proactive, because I just didn't think we would sell that many. I mean, we sold thousands of stamp pockets because it was a great time to stock up on those necessities, so that was my bad. So I'm just going to cut this down a little bit, because I'm going to use our mini die cutting machine, our mini Intracut, to cut these out. And the mini Intracut goes up to almost 3.5 inches. So it is a bigger mini die cutting machine. A lot of the other mini machines only go to 3 inches. This goes to 3 and almost a half. It's like 3 3/8. which fits almost every die you would want, all the way up to our single and double stitched rectangles and squares and ovals. I put these in backwards. There's a little notch here for this part of the scissor. There you go, scissors. Okay, so when I use my mini die cutting machine, I also like to use my grip mat, because the mini die cutting machine doesn't have the suction that the regular Intracut has. It does have these little grippy feet on the bottom, and it's got this handle, which I love the handle, because the handle really stabilizes the machine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop this machine here, and then see this? I mean, it's not moving because it's sitting on the grip mat. So it does the same exact thing as the suction. It just keeps it really stable. So with the mini Intracut, it comes with 3 plates. It comes with a 5mm plate, which you can see is kind of thick, and then it comes with 2 of these 3mm plates. The 3mm plates, when used together, will work with small embossing folders. Now, we don't have any yet. That is something that's coming in 2025. But you get 2 of those, so you would put your small embossing folder in between there, and then you would run it through the machine, and that would allow you to emboss like small borders and other designs. Coming soon. But for cutting, you want to use the 5mm. Think of this as the base plate of your die cutting machine. Okay? And then you're going to put your paper on top, and then your die, and then your thin plate on top of that. So let me line up the dies here, and I'm going to use some masking magic, which I have right over here. Excuse my head. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of masking magic. I have a 1/2-inch sheet strip of masking magic. Masking magic is our masking paper that comes in sheets and in strips. So I know most of you guys that come to my lives all the time, you know what all these things are, but I notice in our analytics that we have new people joining us every single time we go live. So welcome to all of our newbies. And once you've been here and then you come back to another live, then you become a repeat offender. That's most everybody here is a repeat offender, but our new people are our newbies, and we welcome you. All right, so now I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to put the 3mm on top, and I'm going to, let me move these, I'm going to run it through. Now I love having this handle here because it really stabilizes it for me, but you can see just by using that mat, the sticky mat, it makes it like the big Intracut with the suction. All right, so we've got one of these cut out. It's so pretty. So let's do another one. The other one. I probably should just move all of this over a little bit so I can get it all on camera. So again, I'm using my 5mm base plate. I love this little machine. This is such a fun little machine. It's like a little purse. It's so cute. And it's very convenient. I like to take it into my living room during football Sundays and just bring some dies and scraps of paper and cut a million words or standalone dies. I was doing our little animals from my last video during football Sunday. And the little die cutting machine is just very, very convenient to kind of move around the house. It's super lightweight, and it just works so nicely. See, it's pretty, you're going to be surprised that this is like it's a solid little machine. You're going to be surprised when you get yours. If anybody got one out there, tell the truth. It was a little bit like more sturdy than you thought, right? Okay, so now I have 2, and this is going to be my kind of little 2 crescent wreath kind of thing I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out the thinking of you and sending love. So one of the things that I like to do with my die sets, now that we have these big 6x8 magnets that they come with, and again, if you're new to Gina K Designs, all of our dies come already cut apart, so you don't have to cut anything apart. They come in a little bag inside the package, and then you get the magnet. If they're coordinating dies, you get the magnet also in the pack. And I like to try to set mine up so that they're the same layout on this board as they are on the stamp set, so it's easy to grab the right die. You can find it very easily that way. So we know that thinking of you is right here, so thinking of you is in the same spot on the board. And it takes a minute to do that, but once it's done, you're gonna thank yourself for doing it. Okay. So we'll tape this down. And the reason why I like using the Masking Magic strips for this is because they don't really tear the paper, where I've used other types of tape in the past, and sometimes it tears the paper when you're pulling it off after it's run through the die cutting machine, but this, you won't have that problem. Okay, so there's the thinking of you, and we'll do that last one. I love dies that are already cut apart too. It's kind of a thing, you know, like I've cut myself enough to appreciate having that work done for me. Plus, you know, when I get something new, I just want to pull it out of the package and start using it. So it does make it really nice. Okay, so I'm lining that up, taping it. I think one of these days I'm going to just tape it and my nail's going to shoot across the room, hit Tom in the head. We've had pencils do that, right, Tom? Pencils with sharp points. I've snapped those and they've shot across the room. I think Tom's more prepared than he used to be. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got everything die cut. We'll put the cute little mini intracut away. And we can put our grippy mat back inside the Misty for future creating. I won't lose it this time if it's inside the Misty, right? Okay, so now I'm going to, I already pre-cut one of these. This is just a Master Layouts 2, this die set. This is the stitched rectangle from that, and I just had a little pile of them over here, so I'm just using that. And I am going to get a little alcohol here, and I'm going to just clean my space because I've got some brown ink here. I don't want to mess anything up. Now, for this, I am going to get a stencil. So a lot of you have been liking my little stencil organization here. I've got embossing folders back here. So they're all labeled with my little Brother P-Touch labeler. And then I made my own little inserts using some turquoise sea cardstock and using the tab die from the Chef's Choice recipe bundle. So, and the categories I have are backgrounds, celebration, coloring. I do have some coloring stencils in here that I have to put back with the stamp sets. Flowers, holidays, layering stencils. So these are all my big floral layering stencils. I have masking, which would consist of like our masks and fillers and our masked oval. And then nature, which would be like the sea, sun, and sky. And then I think I put one that's supposed to be in here somewhere else. I'll have to look for it. Shapes. So I have stars. I have the sun. I think the sun is what I wanted to put in nature. And then I have my wreath builder stencils. So those are my categories. So you can always go back and watch this video. You can save this video. And if you want to make something like this, you certainly can. Here are the ones that are missing from my collection. Somewhere along the way, I lost my stencils for these. So I need to find them, and that's a me problem. Definitely a me problem. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to use the Harvest Flourish. So did I not put that back in the right spot? Probably not. It's probably still out here some. Oh, I know where Harvest Flourish is. Here it is. I took that one home, so I've got Harvest Flourish here. So I'm going to do a little light stenciling on here just to kind of create a little grounding image. So I can use my grip mat here to do that. Just pop that in there, and then I can just pop the stencil right on top like that. So that'll keep it all in place. And now I'm going to use, I think something warm would look really good with this. Don't you guys? Like maybe a little craft ink or even a little sandy beach. Let me do that. Let me show you the difference. Sandy beach is very light, and craft it's a light color too, but you can see it's darker than sandy beach. So sandy beach is just going to give us that little hint of color in there. And my inkstand is never far from me. So, let's see. I need a brown brush. Here's a brown brush, but I feel like there's a lot of dark brown on here. So, I have one brush for each color family, and I would consider Sandy Beach in the browns, but I have one brown brush that has some dark brown on there. So I'm just going to take this and just kind of rub it over this piece of paper towel. If it's really bad and you really want to clean it, you can put a little alcohol on the paper towel first, and that will get even more off. And alcohol is a nice way to clean these blending brushes because it doesn't saturate the brush head, so you don't risk kind of loosening the glue and having your brush head fall out of the casing. So that's kind of a good way to do it.
The bin where you stored your stencils.
That is an 8x8x8 bin from a place called At Home here in Milwaukee. It's a store, it's a chain store, but I know that they're on Amazon as well. So you could definitely get it on Amazon. It's an 8x8x8 refrigerator bin. So I'm just putting a little bit of color in here, not a lot. Yes, my nails are impressed nails, and this color is called Fly Up. And you can find that link. I have a little part on my blog called Things I Love. And that's where I put things that have nothing to do with crafting. Like I have my my diabetes bracelet on there and stuff. So, okay. So there, just that little hint. I love it when it fades out to nothing like that. All right, and now we can put this card together. Now I know I have a lot of brown in here, so I'm wondering if instead of black, let's just see, here's what black would look like. I feel like black is going to be okay because we've got this slate in here, and this slate, I feel like that's going to look pretty good. It'll kind of tie it all together. We have a little bit of brown in the center of the flowers, and then we have the black on the outside. So that'll work just fine. So I'm going to trim this down. You could cut it with master layouts too. I'm going to just trim mine down using my paper cutter. So Tom, while I'm trimming this down, I saw somebody ask if we have a word of the day, and I didn't even ask you that earlier. Do we have a word of the day?
We have a word of the day. Okay, so it's happening. It's happening.
Oh no.
I'm becoming set in my ways.
I'm a little scared.
I'm becoming set in my ways. the music that I like is frozen in time. The clothes that I wear, it's just it's happening. I am becoming a mantique.
That's a great word.
It's that simple. Word of the day.
A mantique.
Back.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
To the dead space.
That's very funny. And I mean, I think we can all relate to that concept of where one day we just stop progressing with the rest of society and we just like what we like and we're in it, right? Mantique. That's really funny. All right, so for cardstock colors, I am definitely going to go with our new Sun-Kissed Coral. It is such a beautiful color. It's I think people can relate to that, men and women alike. Although I'm sure that there's a few guys out there watching that or listening off to the side that got a giggle out of that. It is true. We were just talking about that, right? With like the kind of pants and stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Get so excited about the same thing.
It's true. We do get excited about the same thing over and over again, right?
And the music I like was old when we were kids.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm scoring this at 5.5 inches. That's okay. It's all right. Am
I getting you excited?
Well, do you remember like when our parents were like when we were younger and our parents were like, "Oh, these songs today, they don't have any whatever they would say," and we would be like, "Oh, come on, don't be so old-fashioned, I'll never stop liking the newest thing." And then one day, it just happened. I didn't cut this very well, so I'm just going to trim this off. I think I'm going to trim it off. We'll see. Yep, there we go. I don't know what happens, but it is what it is. We are who we are. It's good. I just glanced up at the comments, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that sentiment. So, all right. I am putting this onto our Sun-Kissed Coral cardstock, which is truly one of my new favorites. It's so pretty. And now I'm going to put it on straight. That was crooked as can be. I'm still giggling over my mantique over there. And now I'm going to create this little kind of crescent on one side and then crescent on the other side like this. So they kind of come in together like that. Such a pretty design. And I'm just going to extend this little branch over the edge. Just a little extension there. Okay. And then my greetings will go in the center here over the flowers. So I'll use some foam squares for this. I've got both 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch foam squares. And I have my tweezers. So I'm really, let's see, I just got mantique. Oh, that's okay. It's all right. When you've had a hard day at work, sometimes it takes a second for it to sink in. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all right. We're with you. We feel you. And welcome home from work. All right. So we'll get this on there first. I almost have to use the tweezers now because of the nails. I feel like if everything wasn't so staticky, this would actually be very cool. Look at that. I've been practicing a little bit with the tweezers. Okay. Now, I do like to hold it with the tweezers, though, to see where it's going. And I like having that right like that. There we go. Okay.
Getting a few requests for the word of the day stamp set.
Oh my gosh.
I actually am working on some sentiments that you could use when you come out with your kit for guys to make and send cards to other guys.
Oh, you are? You are?
You want to hear one of them?
Yes, we do. We definitely do.
Okay, so one of the sentiments in that set, this is a guy making a card for another guy, a friend. I can stand you. Right?
Yes, that's very good. I can stand you. That's cute. Probably get a lot of laughs if you made that card. I don't know how we'd fit Mantique into a card. Maybe a birthday card. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to put the thinking of you right here. So because these are already lifted on the side, I'm just going to put some foam squares in the center. And then we'll just put a few little foam squares like right on the end sending part. So I will cut these. Yeah, that's right. Don't forget better than horrible. You can't forget that, Tom. That has to be one of the greetings. You're better than horrible. Remember my dad? He would change up gestures and stuff to mean other things, and it made him feel better.
Yes.
Like one time my dad was driving and a guy gave him the finger when he was driving, and my mom was in the car with him. And my mom said, "Did you see what that guy just did?" She was all mad. And my dad said, "Yes, but don't worry about it, honey. That just means I think you're swell." He had such a great sense of humor. Nothing bothered him. I'm going to put a different one here because I think I went too far.
I think he actually said that to me a couple times.
I think you're swell.
Now I get it.
Now you know, right? Now you get it. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on these so this part will stick to the flowers. And then you're number one. That's right. Okay. Yep. I did spray myself with Static Guard again. But I got a hair oil. Rena gave me a hair oil to make my hair less staticky in the winter. So I've started using that, and I feel like that's helped a little bit. All right, so we've got Thinking of You, and then we're going to put And Sending Love down here. And then we're going to add a couple little baby pearls, our new tiny pearls, our mini metallics. They did sell out, so they are reordered as well. So hang in there for that. And sorry about, the sellouts. It is not an exact science, I'll tell you guys. Trying to make sure that you have enough without having too much. I always say if I had a crystal ball, I would nail it, but I don't. And I try to always have enough of everything without having so much that we have to do mystery boxes. Sometimes I used to overshoot a little bit. But I'm trying to get it a little bit better. All right, so Sending Love. There we go. Did I put the tape? No, there it is. Okay, I thought maybe I put the tape on the wrong side. Okay, I really love the colors in this card. Do you guys like the colors here? I do. Nothing like some new colors to just get your mojo started too, right? So let's just put one gold one there, and we'll just put one down here. We only need 3, or we'll be here all night. But 3 is good. And again, I have to pull a few out here just so it makes it easier for me to grab them. And put one there. One there. I think the gold is good for this with all these warm colors. Although I think gold looks good with just about anything, right? It's like jewelry. You could do gold with anything. You could do silver with anything. But I like that with these warm colors. Now, I told you I wanted to show you the one that I had made for the release party. And instead of using the stamps for the one that I made for the release party, I used our polyglaze sheets. And if you're new to polyglaze, check out my playlist on foil. So I used our polyglaze sheets for this one, and you can see all that beautiful shine. And I used the blue sky and the emerald coast. And then I put that on a blue sky card base. So there's all of our new colors in one glance there. And I really think that, you know, even though they're the same exact layout, they feel so different when you've got all that foil in there. And then this one just feels so much, I don't know, more homey, right? Like, and then this one is more like of a wow. So you can always get our coordinating polyglaze sheets for our kits. We always try to do some polyglaze. So for those of you that love foil, you can pick that up as an add-on. If you don't like foil, we're not pushing it on you. It doesn't come in the kit, but you do get the stamps, dies, and coloring stencils in the kit. All right, well, what do you think, Tom? Do you have a favorite here?
Really nice. Whoops, let me get my mic up. Okay. Yeah, I am very much drawn to the orange-ish.
Yeah. Orangish, yes. The warm tones, definitely. That's you right there.
Yes, that, and it's different.
Yeah, I like it. I did use the same stencil on here. I don't know if you could see it in there. It's really light. I had a very light hand.
Is that the new blue?
This is the new blue, the blue sky and the emerald.
That's neat, too.
Yeah, so those are these two colors.
Yeah, both very compelling.
It's kind of fun to see the new colors in action a little bit, too.
Yes.
So I'll be taking high-quality photos of these and posting them on Facebook, in our Facebook group, on our Facebook page, and also on YouTube. If you're watching here on YouTube, on the community tab. So if you go to my channel, there's a community tab. You can click on that, and you can always get a high-quality view of the cards that I shared in the video. And I think that you could probably save them, too, to your computer for future reference. Now, if you liked tonight's video, and we sure hope that you have, if you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up, that really does help the channel. We would love that so much. And if you are new to the channel and you're not a subscriber, if you could hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, you'll never miss another video. And even when I put things up on the community tab and stuff, you'll get a little notification. So this way you'll always know when I'm going live. And then, if you would like to join a really fun Facebook group, we have a Facebook group called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. It's a big group, though. We've got over 48,000 members, and so much inspiration shared over there. Beautiful card projects, techniques, and tutorials. We've got a really great moderation team that is always there to answer your questions, and you know, if you have card making questions or, you know, what color is this, all that stuff, there's always somebody to jump in and help. Plus our members are amazing and they're always willing to help as well.
And it's always perfectly calm and
Not
relaxed.
always. Nope, the more people you get in a group, the harder that is to control. But 48,000 and counting. That's a pretty big Facebook group to manage, and our moderators do a great job. And then if you see anything that you like tonight and you didn't catch the link that Brianne shared, you can find everything that I used tonight over at our website, ginakdesigns.com. And if something's out of stock, you can always click the notify me button, and as soon as it comes back in stock, we will send you a quick email to let you know so that you can decide if you want it or not. Well, everybody, a big shout out to Brianne Loveland for linking everything. We absolutely love you, Brianne. Thank you so much for all of your help. Now we're going to give away a gift card. So if you left a comment in the chat, you are already entered to win, and Tom is going to randomly pick a winner. So you ready?
Drum roll, please. Here we go. And the winner tonight is Carol Drummond. Carol Drummond, yay!
Carol, congratulations, Carol. Woo-hoo! All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and let them know that you won the gift card tonight, and they will get that emailed to you right away. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Tom and I will be back on Thursday for a Crafternoon Live at noon Central Time. And until then, everybody, stay safe, stay warm, stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.